Shalom, call halal, wah, like how Bashim Yabashah, Bashim Kakodash, double to the elder apostles, unto salutations to you, Akim is laboring in truth and sincerity. Shalom to you. This is a video, this is based off, this woman's comment, so-called black woman, comment, because basically they're going into the, the subject matter of why so-called black men on date so-called black women, and then the also the fact that so-called young black men, all right, they grew up without their fathers. The systematic removal of the so-called black men within their households, as being fathers and teaching their children and all that stuff, which is a systematic breakdown initiated or started by the so-called white man Esau Edom, right? But this so-called black woman on the panel, she don't believe that not having your father around, she don't believe that that's a viable explanation to why so-called young black men don't turn out to be, successful and what she say, not to be decent-headed or decent-minded. She says it's not an excuse for so-called black men not to turn out okay by not having your fathers around, which she's so far from reality, and I'm going to prove that. All right, now I'll let you listen to her comment.
Of the chakras to this greatness. It's there for all of us, man. And I'm saying for real. So
yeah, she's tearing up, man.
I keep making her cry with the greatness. It's the God.
I feel like this whole father figure thing is like it's an excuse.
Right.
No.
I feel like it's an excuse.
I mean,
we got to let it go.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it's an excuse. Just because you don't have a father figure don't mean you have to be a certain type of person.
Hold on.
See the mindset of you so-called black women. There's a lot of black women, so-called black women, which primarily the women of Judah, right? That thinks that way, and they're so far from reality. Now I'm going to go to scripture, and I'm going to prove that because, Slakia. Let's go to the scriptures. So-called black men, right, are most important. All right, to a family, just a man in general, not just so-called black men, which are the men of Judah of the nation of Israel, right? But I'm talking about having a father in the home in general is the most important, all right, because a man is a foundation. Now I could read this whole chapter, or most of this chapter going into that, but I'm going to go right to the point because having a father is basically having a foundation. Now, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 3. I'm going to jump down. Slakia. I'm going to go down to verse. Let's see, we're going to start at verse 7. Let me go 7. Let's read up. But, let's start 6. Ecclesiasticus 3 and 6. He that honoreth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto the Lord shall be a comfort to his mother. He that feared the Lord will honor his father, and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. Honor thy father and mother both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them. For the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children. See? Establish it. When you establish something, right? It says, let me read the rest of the verse. It says, for the blessing of the father established the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooted out foundations. Yeah, because, the father is the foundation, all right? The father is the foundation of a family. It starts with the man, All right, because a woman's not built to be a foundation. The man is. That's why the Heavenly Father set up man, starting with going back to the days of Adam, right, to be ruling over their women, because that's how the Heavenly Father set up things to be, right? I don't know why this. Okay. I don't know why it's not. Let me see. I don't know why it's not loading up, but it should have been loaded up by now. I'm trying to click on it. I don't know why my app is acting crazy. Bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to pull it up because it's so important for us to know the true role of a man. All right, here we go. Man, damn. All right. It says establish, cause to stand still, establish, stipulate, set up, erect, build. Right. You build a family starting with the men, right? It says make stable. Make stable. See? See, let's forget. Set up or found. Well, the root word of foundation is found. All right. Set up or laid the groundwork for. Found, plant, constitute, institute. Establish the validity of something as by an example, explanation, or experiment. All right. So we pretty much, we pretty much get the gist of it, right? So a father, all right, it's very important, right? A family is initiated by the man, right, taking his seed and putting it into a woman. You have sexual intercourse, right? And in ancient times, usually she was a virgin because that's the right way you take a woman in her virginity, right? And then she becomes your wife once you take her virginity, and that's your family because you start to have children with her. All right, and then a man, he provides and protects a woman, right, and his children, and a woman, she guides the house, right. So that's the reason for me saying that, right. All right, and what backs me up is the Holy Scriptures, man. All right, because my mindset is based upon what I know to be true. All right, and that's scripturally based, right, because in this world, we're told that our mothers are most important. But no, it's the opposite way around, Your father is most important. Now, check this out. What the scriptures say about a woman. All right. Job chapter 14, verse 1, it says, man that is born of a woman is of few days and full of trouble. So, this lady, right, that's in this podcast, she's talking smack about the so-called black man, right? About him, it's not an excuse because your father's not around. He turns out to be all messed up. Well, that's the main primary reason so-called Negroes don't grow up the right way, because they raised up under their mothers. All right, and let's play what she said again.
Tearing up, man.
I keep making her cry with you. Let it
I
It's the God.
feel like this whole father figure thing is like it's an excuse.
Right.
No.
I feel like it's
Some
an
things are
excuse.
facts. I mean,
we got to let it go.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it's an excuse. Just because you don't have a father figure don't mean you have to be a certain type of person.
Hold on.
Now check out the so-called Negroes. All right, when they left, so-called Negro males, right, when they left with their mothers, they turned out to be what? All right, highly emotional, and they end up either locked up or dead. All right, or both. Get locked up, get out, get shot by another fatherless so-called Negro. All right, because they raised by their mothers. All right, so that's a clear example. And these guys on here was pointing out statistics to this young lady, but she was really ignoring them, right? So that proves Job 14:1, man, to be true. All right, man that's born of a woman is of few days and full of trouble. All right, we see it on an everyday basis, especially those of us Israelites that grew up in the inner city, right? You know, some of us have, you know, a manly father figure in our lives, but some of us don't. All right, and that's just the reality of it, right? Now let's go to the book of Sirach. I'm gonna go to 25. And 24. And I'm not getting down on actually talking down on you women. I'm just telling you how it is, you know. All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 25, or Sirach 25 and 24. It says, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." Yeah, man, you know, you let a woman guide you. All right, like a man child, if he's solely guided and nourished by his mother, and the father's not around to give him that umph, as we call it, put that umph in his son, and to show him the right way, they tend to venture off and to be in the gangs, right? Be in the gangs, and then quick to murder one another. You know, for example, myself, right? See, I knew my father, even though he died very young and I was very young. I knew my father. I knew his voice. I knew how he looked. You know, I knew how he treated my mother. All right. I knew he worked. All right. Every time I seen my father, he was in his work clothes. So even when I look back, yeah, you know, Daddy was always dirty, and then, you know, I knew my dad fixed on cars. So as I grew up, I knew that a job was a part of being a man. Because even though, you know, I was after my father passing, you know, I was raised around my grandmother, but then I had, you know, my grandma never babied me. She never sheltered me from discipline, none of that. Even was disciplined by her as a young child once. All right, but I had like my uncles around, my dad, which was my dad, little brother, and then my mom brothers. They all was, you know, manly men. They weren't no effeminate guys, you know. Had my older male cousins that was raised by them, you know, and they was all manly men. All right, and they rough and tough me up. I didn't have it easy, you know. I couldn't, you know, cry and be highly emotional, you know. So they kept that umph in me. All right, and so I never grew up to be sensitive or extra sensitive and emotional. All right, and the sternness in my father's voice and the way he carried himself was totally manly. All right, which you know, stick with me to this day, you know. And I know the effects of you know, it hurted me growing up without him, and as I got older, but at the same time, I knew enough of him to know what to do in life, as far as basic things. All right. Now, is a mother's role important? Of course it is. All right. The book of Psalms. Actually, let's get this one first. I gotta hurry up, get back from break. It's just a short video. I'm gonna go to the New Testament. 1 Timothy 5, verse 14, it says, "I would therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully." Right. See? Guide the house, you know. Hey, take care of the house while your man or your husband gone. All right. A woman's role is important as well, but it's within the order, all right, of that man's household. All right, and that's the problem that a lot of so-called Negroes have. You know, the so-called Negro women, all right, the women of Judah, they don't want to be in order. All right, and that what breaks down the family household. That's why I said, going back to the Sirach, what was that? Sirach, the 3rd chapter, Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. What did it say? Let's go back to it real quick. About the curse of the mother. Yeah, the curse of the mother is about what, 6, 7 verse. Yeah, back in the 9th verse it says, "For the blessing of the father establishes the houses of children, but the curse of the mother ruleth out foundations. And that's just totally true. All right. Mother out of order, then it creates a chaotic situation, and then you have a example of disorder. All right. So a father is very important, and that's the fact of the matter, you know. All right. So with that, you know, this is a short video. Lord willing, you were edified, and until next time, I say shalom. All right.